morning. It's Wednesday, February 15th. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Dr. Amy Tan, Dean for English and Communications here at HCC. Todd Duplantis is out today. I'm here with Parrish Murph of HCCTV, who's going to tell everyone how to find us on social media.
Hey, how are you doing? How you doing, Dr. Tan? We are live on Houston Community College District Facebook page. We're also on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and we're on Instagram, and we're on HCC TV Monday through Friday at noon, 5, and 10 p.m.
Thank you so much. Great to see you, Parrish. Today, we're going to be visiting with our HCC Police Chief for an update on his department about a number of topics. Chief, how are you doing today? Oh, I think you're muted, Chief.
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're so happy to have you with us, and we'll be right back. Parrish will be with you in just a moment.
Great.
But first, we're going to congratulate a special recipient of an award just announced by the Chancellor, and that is Margaret Freeman, professor at HCC Coleman College for Health Sciences and League of Innovation Excellence Award recipient. Welcome to the show, Margaret.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
I'm so happy to see you. We've gotten to work on some projects together, and so I'm thrilled that I get to be the one to interview this morning.
Thank you. Yes, I'm glad to be here.
And we're very excited to discuss you being named as a National 2022-2023 League of Innovation Excellence Award recipient. You and 4 others from HCC will receive your awards during an upcoming Temp Arizona conference. As I understand it, your award is for the use of the StrengthsQuest for students. Before we get into the details of it, can you explain its importance?
Oh, of course. I went to a Noel Levitt's conference probably back in the late 90s in New Orleans, and one of the authors of the StrengthsQuest was the presenter. And I was very captivated by this and had been looking for ways. I was a counselor at the time for the health science students, of a way to bring this back and keep engagement of students. That's always been a top priority of mine. So getting exposed to it there, taking the actual assessment and learning that we're going to emphasize what's good about people and kind of manage our weaknesses by focusing on what we do well, what our strengths are. And over the years, it's kind of morphed through my class that I teach, which is an introduction to health professions, but it's really helped students. And I'm very encouraged to keep it going. It's kept me motivated as well.
So you sort of talked about how you were introduced to it. Do you want to talk a little more about the background of the strengths assessment?
Sure. The strengths assessment was developed by a man named Don Clifton back, I'm not sure about the years, but it has to be probably, I think the research was ongoing. It's a part of the Gallup organization. As most people are familiar, that's a big polling, surveying kind of company. And he really wanted to look into what makes some people successful and other people struggle with it. And they started doing, they had a base of 2 million people they interviewed that were successful in their various fields, and asking them what was going through their mind when they were having a really good on day. And they identified like 400 different traits that people talked about, but were able to narrow it down into 34 repeating patterns that they ended up calling the strengths that all of us possess. It was just knowing what yours were, especially your strongest ones, and being able to work out of those in a conscious kind of way. I don't know if that's enough explanation that you want.
No, I think that's perfect. And when we can talk a little bit more about some of the strengths and in just a minute, because I also am a huge fan of the Clifton strengths. Before we do that, do you want to talk a little bit about the areas of student life that it impacts? Oh,
sure. When I first started it, it was mainly, my focus has always been the health science students. As you're aware, they can't just automatically apply to a program and be accepted. There's a lot of criteria that goes into that to be selected. We have selective admissions. And so one of the big problems I saw as a counselor was that a lot of our applicants didn't really know what they were getting into, and they were blindsided or surprised or ill prepared for it. And so the strengths really came in at a good time for my class, that I could use another tool that could help them identify what is their overall purpose? What are they about? And link it up to a career. Because I'm a firm believer that when you find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I think students have, a lot of my students have never experienced that. Older relatives, friends of the family, no one they know is super happy in their career choices, or very rarely does that happen. And so this was a way to link that up and say, look, these are the things that you excel at, that it just really excites you to be involved in this. And is this career you're going after one that you can link those two things up and make sure that what you want to do is what you are pursuing? Because that was a big disconnect that I saw over the years prior to Strengths.
And do you feel like your students come back and tell you that it's not just about their career, but that they apply this in their family life and their relationships and other activities that they're doing?
Absolutely. In fact, this is interesting that I was going to do this week, because just this week I got this, I wanted to read this one short quote from a student that I just received this email. And she said, "Thank you. This has helped me connect with myself on a deeper level." And to me, that sums it all up. I always tell my students, when you get out of this class, it doesn't concern me if you go into a healthcare or you go into accounting, as long as you go into something that you really have a passion for. And in my class, you can figure it out one way or the other. Just don't leave the class still not knowing and questioning, is this the right path for me?
Yeah, and so you're touching on a little bit about how you use it in the classroom. Do you want to expand on that a little bit? What are some of the other ways that you use it in the classroom?
Sure. We use it a lot for team building, to talk about, because healthcare is, I keep talking about healthcare because that's our focus, is about working on teams within your department, in the hospital, or also with other departments. And a lot of students don't like group activities. As soon as you bring up there's a group project, there's a lot of groans, right? That's true in any discipline. But this one, actually, we're able to match people up and say, not only is it okay for you to be different and bring a different expertise to the group, but we need you to do that. We want you to not be like everybody else in your group. We need your input to make this group a whole. And actually what the Strengths people went on to look at were domains of leadership. And because they were looking at what makes the successful CEOs. And they found that there's been a big myth going on. I think that a lot of us, especially older people like myself, were taught that we're supposed to be well-rounded people. And the Strengths people said, that's not really true. People are pointy. We're jaggedy. We have ups and downs, highs and lows, but teams can be well-rounded. So something that I'm not particularly strong at, you may be strong at, so I need you on the team. So the successful CEOs, they found, had surrounded themselves with people that brought up these other strengths that were not necessarily very strong in the lead person. And the lead person was smart enough to know, I need your input. I need your perspective. I need what you're bringing in, because I can't do everything. I can't be all things to all people, right? So I need you to bring in your expertise. So we demonstrate that in a group project we do, and we do various things. We play like a family feud game sometimes where everybody's responsible for something. We also do, we've done some role playing and some superhero stuff. But anyway, everybody has to contribute one of their strengths in order to be on their team and demonstrate what that looks like. And I've noticed that people really have an appreciation for differences in other people once they can hear, oh, you're not trying to annoy me. Oh, I have a family member that does that. And I always thought they were just playing games with me. But now I'm understanding, no, this is the way they process. This is the way they think. You can't say the same way to everybody. And as teachers, we know that everybody doesn't comprehend it the same way. And just saying it over and over again the same way is kind of futile. So that's where I've seen it. Students tell me all the time, oh, this is my brother, this is my husband, this is my wife that you're explaining. I'm going to go home and tell them, I'm sorry, I've been misunderstanding you all this time. So yeah, it's got the ripple effect for sure.
That's wonderful. And I am betting that it's also impactful when you're working with faculty.
Yeah, and one thing that we did do, we did it with all the faculty, but especially at Coleman, we've worked a little bit more with it. And what I'll tell you, if I can tell a really short example, we had a person, I'll just say it this way, that had one of the strengths that appeared to not like to talk about conflicting situations. And so a lot of people that worked for this person was having a lot of trouble, because if they would go to them with a problem, that person would kind of try to sweep it under the rug or not want to talk about it or change the subject. They didn't want to fix it. Okay. And the people under them really needed a solution. So what they did, this was so smart, I don't think I would have thought of this. they knew this person's strengths because all of Coleman had them posted on their doors. So they went to another colleague that also had that same strength in the same position, which was number one, and said to them, hey, how do we come to you with the problem? What's the best way to approach it? And the insight they got from that was unbelievable, because no one that didn't have that strength would have thought to approach that way. I'm sorry being vague, but these people all still work here and I don't want
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But it was so refreshing because the person just said, well, this is what I would do. Yeah, I like to hear a problem, but I also like to hear a solution. If you come to me, tell me the problem, but also give me a, for instance, of how you could solve it. I'm much more willing to engage with you and think that you're not just complaining.
Yes. Yeah, it's just wonderful. And, we have to wrap it up so we can move on to our next interview, but I'm just so grateful to that. And congratulations on this award. You really deserve it. And, we rely on you here at HCC for your strengths and for sharing Clifton's with us, because it's something I use with my team. I use it every day in my life. So I really appreciate everything that you contributed, Margaret. So glad to see you. Thank you for being here, Margaret Freeman, professor at HCC Coleman College for Health Sciences and League of Innovation Excellence Award recipient. We'll have all your info in our post after the show.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Have a great day. And we're moving on to Parish and our HCC Police Chief, Michael Benford.
Yeah, I have the pleasure of talking to one of my favorite people. HCC Police Chief Michael Benford is on the show today. Welcome back to the show, Chief. Good to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, listen, I want to just jump right in. The climate's been a little crazy for probably the last 4 or 5 years. So I wanted to talk about something a little serious, school safety. Now, this is coming on the heels of what happened in Michigan at Michigan State. First off, I'd like to know, I don't want to get into specifics with you, obviously, but what I'd like to know is, what is your mindset when you hear stuff like that? I mean, being not only law enforcement, but management in law enforcement.
Well, Parish, is very troubling. And first of all, I'd like to say that our thoughts and prayers go out to all of the victims' families, all the officers involved, the entire Michigan State family. It was indeed a tragedy. And unfortunately, we've dealt with this too many times. And as a police administrator, this is something that we think about quite often. We spend a lot of our time and resources focusing on what can we do to ensure if we have an incident like this on our campus, that we're prepared to deal with it and make sure that our students are as safe as possible.
Great. It sounds like it's one of those things that makes you just kind of get introspective with yourself. I guess it's kind of like when somebody dies that's young, you try to evaluate yourself. What do you do? Are you prepared? Do you have life insurance? That type of stuff. What type of stuff does it make you examine just from a practical standpoint as far as school security and things like that?
Well, one of the first things we do whenever there's an incident like this, is we do an evaluation of our current staffing model, the way we deploy our resources. We look at what we're doing right. We look at what we can improve on to make sure that we're not vulnerable. We're not a soft target. So, of course, in lieu of these type of incidents, we also staff up, because people are a little more nervous. People are a little more anxious. They have concerns. So in an attempt to alleviate those concerns, we increase our visible footprint on all of our campuses. We do that by deploying more officers, increasing visibility throughout the HCC community, both on foot and with the use of our mobile fleet. We also provide trainings. We'll reach out and provide trainings and support staff members who are looking to learn more about the Run, Hide, Fight program, or what do we do in situations like this? So I have 2 full-time officers that are great, and they spend all of their time doing community outreach, providing resources and training to our community to make sure that they have everything they need to feel comfortable coming to our campus.
That's great. Seeing police does kind of make you feel a little bit safer. Police presence being seen. That definitely helps. Now, I know last month you were on the show and we talked about parking issues. Can you give me an update to the HCC community about some of the parking issues? Yes,
so we have had a few challenges with our parking software. I'm glad to report that we've had several meetings and that's been addressed. Students, faculty members who are looking to get their parking permits can still go to our website. They can go to hcc.edu, go to the police link. It'll take them to our website. There's a parking link there. They follow the instructions and give them information on everything from parking to the appeals process to what do I do if I receive a violation, things like that. Now, one of the challenges we had as we were exploring this, we found that what happens is sometimes if your information that's entered on the HCC side conflicts with the information that's entered on the T2, which is our parking system side, it'll sometimes conflict. So our recommendation is that if you receive an error notice, go back to your home college and make sure that your name is entered correctly and it matches that information that's in the T2 system.
Great. Now, I hear that you have ordered a new fleet of vehicles. Tell me about the new whips.
Tell you what, we are really excited about that here at HCCPD. The board has graciously approved us to do a partial fleet replacement. And so we're going to be ordering 24 new Tahoes. And the great thing about these new vehicles is they will meet the new COVID compliance standards. They will have all kinds of safety features in addition to the traditional features you see in a patrol vehicle. These vehicles will be outfitted with UV lighting. They'll be outfitted with new HEPA filters to filter the air. They'll have all non-porous surfaces in the vehicles. They'll also be equipped with foggers that you'll be able to go in and spray the vehicle down within a matter of minutes, decon the vehicle from any potential virus or germs. So really excited about that. It always excites officers when they can drive a new vehicle. It makes us look better, makes us feel better as an agency, and it gives us a nicer profile in our community.
Now, what happens to the old vehicles?
So we're going to be transitioning them out. Unfortunately, police vehicles, unlike a traditional personal vehicle, doesn't have the same lifespan.
Not too cool riding around in the former cop car.
It's our vehicles unfortunately take quite a beating. They typically run 24/7. We spend a lot of time on maintenance, just keeping them on the street. So all of those older vehicles will be transitioned out, and we'll replace them with our new fleet coming in. And another exciting part of that is the vehicles that we will be keeping. We're working on a retrofitting project to upgrade those vehicles as well and make them just as safe and COVID compliant as the new vehicles coming in.
Okay, great. Now, are the mechanics in-house, or do you guys send those out to get those?
No, we outsource everything. Typically, we try and work with the dealerships. Vehicles coming in, we typically try and work with the dealerships to maintain our warranty. We have some really good partners who keep us going. But unfortunately, sometimes they're on their last leg and it's just time for them to go.
Not built to last forever. That's
not built to last forever. Not with cops driving them. That's for sure.
No. Now, what else do you guys have coming up?
So coming into the spring, we're going to be picking up our efforts. Again, I mentioned earlier about our community service outreach. So we have some programs working with some other agencies. We're doing things like we have some career fairs coming up. We have some Real Men Read programs coming up. We have some speaking engagements at some schools. In fact, I have one next month at one of our elementary schools in the area. So I always enjoy going out, meeting the children, talking to them about what I do as a police officer and answering any questions they may have and dispelling any myths they may have about the police in the community. You'll also see us getting ready for the end of the school year. And one of the things that we like to do is to ramp up. Again, we ramp up our visibility, ramp up our presence on our campuses to make sure that our students have a nice end to the semester. Once a month, we try and set up tables at each of our campuses, working with our campus managers, where we put out displays, we do handout materials, snacks, talk to our students, staff, and faculty about various topics of the day, and just be a resource to our community.
Good. Now, snacks always work, by the way.
Snacks always work.
Now, I don't know if anybody's asked, but if someone wanted to be a part of the HCC police force, how would they apply and what would they do? So you can go to our website, go to the hcc.edu/police. You click on that website. There's a link to the careers page, and you can go online and apply.
We're always looking for qualified individuals who are interested in serving our community, and in specialized policing, we're looking for a very special, kind of officer, someone that can do not only do the traditional policing, but also do the community service piece, which is a big part of what we do.
Great. Chief, thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate it all the time.
Thank you for having me. All right, good to see you.
He is HCC Police Chief Michael Benford. We'll have your info in our post after the show. Thanks again, Chief.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
Dr. Amy Tan, what you doing?
I am just sitting here enjoying the interview with listening to Chief Michael Benford.
Always good. It's always good to see the chief. Always good. So before we go, let's get into a couple of announcements, shall we? Building a community of winners. The Black History Gala. Make plans to now attend the virtual Black History Scholarship, Black History Scholarship Gala. It's sponsored by the HCC Foundation and hosted on fox26houston.com, 7 p.m. Thursday, February the 23rd. It's going to be virtual. Check our post after the show for the link to register.
Excellent. And you have one more chance for university campus visits at HCC Northline. HCC Northeast Northline campus is hosting one more visit with students about transfer opportunities. That is coming up. We'll have Grand Canyon University on Thursday, February 23rd from 10 a.m. to noon. Check our post after the show for an email for more info.
You want to earn $500? HCC's counseling services, faculty, and OIE are offering 2 healthy relationship scholarships. Qualifying HCC students can share their love for art or prose by writing a 500-word essay or creating any piece of artwork. The deadline to turn in an essay or your artwork is Sunday, April the 9th. Check our post after the show for the email submissions.
That sounds like a great opportunity. And we are also offering a material study featuring Melinda Lesinski, and I am apologizing right now for
Lesinski. I did it phonetically.
Lesinski, excellent. In her solo exposition, Professor Lesinski is displaying paper and ceramics works from her recent sabbatical at El-Sur CDMX. That is now through May 14th, HCC Southeast Eastside Campus in the Wedge Gallery. This is a free exhibition. Registration is not necessary and everyone is welcome. So please come on out.
Great. Need a financial aid coach? HCC has them as well. Because HCC is dedicated to holistic student success, financial coaches are available to help navigate college and prepare for fiscal success after college, which is really important. Visit the link in our post after the show to find the help that you need.
That's right. And you still have time to register for classes in the spring semester. Our Second Start classes are now open and running, and we are still registering for our smaller, more intensive spring sessions. All spring courses offer in-person and online options. So you know the routine. Online anytime classes with no established meeting time unless it's listed. We have online on a schedule where the meeting time is set and the course meets virtually online with your professor. We have some hybrid courses. The lecture part meets partially face-to-face and partially virtual. We also have our traditional in-person face-to-face courses with our traditional meeting patterns at our various campus locations. And of course, the hybrid lab studio courses. And so to learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
Great.
And go ahead, Parrish.
No, go ahead.
So coming up, on our next episode, we'll be welcoming HCC's new DEI officer, Darren Baskin. He'll be here to tell us his plans for the spring and beyond.
Great. And as for Thursday's Family Fun Day, we'll talk about a fun event called Spin for Parkinson's. Folks will be cycling for a cause. And later this week for Film Friday, the Black Film Festival returns to talk about upcoming events. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Dr. Amy Tan, it's been a great time with you.
Yes, I've enjoyed it. I'm so glad to be here with you today, Parrish. And of course, I always miss seeing Todd, but I'll catch him next time.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna be joining the spin?
No, I don't do bikes since I've
You
been
don't
driving.
cycle?
I don't do bikes like that. No, I'll be here. I'll be tomorrow to co-host with Miss Sharday Campbell. Once again, everyone, thank you for joining us. We know you have other alternatives in viewing and listening. We are truly honored that you chose us here. For Dr. Amy Tan, my name is Parrish Murphy, and all the good people here who put this show together. Have a good day.